I just want to take the opportunity to revisit the draft from last year
Mm-hmm.
because, so many people who were making a big deal about, oh my God, why didn't we draft a quarterback? Oh my God, why didn't we take Jalen Carter? You know, it's not the end of the world.
No, I mean the quarterbacks we could have gotten are not good. Like Spencer Rattler's already been benched.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at it right now. So the Hawks picking fifth, they took Spoon. By this point, Bryce Young was already off the board, so you already missed. Nah, you're not too hurt that you don't have Anthony Richardson. Obviously, C.J. Stroud, but
He's
that
gone
was
by the time we
second
pick.
pick.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you never had the chance to get him, and he's the only quarterback who's really hit so far. Richardson's all over the damn place. I gotta scroll really fucking far down to see anyway. I know everybody was making a big deal about Will Levis. Levis has had good
Oh
games,
yeah.
and he's had bad games.
I'm a fan, but I don't think anybody's like really torn up about that one anymore.
Yeah, it's gonna take him some time to develop. And with the tools that the Hawks have right now, imagine if they did draft Will Levis and we're trying to develop him at this very moment.
Mm-hmm.
Geno's getting slaughtered out there because of the dog shit offensive line. Will Levis would just be getting absolutely hammered week
Mm-hmm.
after week. How would that help anybody?
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, I think he's even hurt right now. He didn't even play this week, which resulted in the Titans actually picking up their second win, which is really funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's injured right now. You are
Um,
right.
yes. Then you've got Hendon Hooker that the Lions picked up. I
He hasn't played a
don't even
snap, I
think
think.
exactly. He has not seen a single snap in professional play yet. And you got guys like Jake Hayner and Stetson Bennett.
Yes.
Yeah, this
It's
a Hawks
stinky.
fans. Yeah, a Hawks fans that were, oh my God, why didn't we take a quarterback? Literally, the only guy that was left on the board that was even halfway any kind of decent that people had even been talking about by the time the Hawks got the pick was Will Levis. And Seahawks fans should not be devastated that they didn't take Levis. Even if you like him, he looks like he has the potential to be above average, but so far when he's had really good games, it's been against bad defenses.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, that Seahawks offensive line, a veteran like Geno is doing his best.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I think he's avoided catastrophe multiple times because he's such a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody like Will Levis would probably have gotten a season-ending injury by now.
Yeah. Oh, hey Diggs, welcome.
So we can say that we're halfway through the season because
We
some teams have
basically
played
are,
eight
yeah.
games. Yeah, some teams have played 8 games, some teams have played 9. And with a 17-game season, that's halfway.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just looking at Jalen Carter's stats right here. These are only box score stats. They don't tell the whole story. However, it is notable that so far Jalen Carter, who has played every game, is actually well below the pace that he should be at to hit the stats that are projected for him to achieve this season, which are already lower than his rookie season stats.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Carter's definitely good beyond the
Yes.
stats, but I'm
Yeah,
not that
and
sad about that.
right. I'm not disputing that at all. What I'm saying is that for people who were talking about he was going to be a generational level talent, people thought he was going to be Aaron Donald good right away. At least the Hawks fans who desperately wanted us to draft him.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit here and say that he's regressed. What I am saying is while he's definitely a good player and he's having a good season by any stretch of the imagination, he is below what people expected of him this year.
hmm
Maybe those expectations were too high, but he's
He's not Aaron Donald, is the point.
right. Exactly. So, Spoon has not been perfect, I don't think.
Yeah, he's
But he's
struggled a
been
bit, but it's a
right.
sophomore slumps are pretty common. Like
Right.
that's what the kids don't
Yeah.
realize. Sophomore slumps used to happen to almost everybody, and now like people are like, "Why is this player struggling in the second year of his career?"
Yeah. It's especially quarterbacks, which drives me nuts. Because
hmm
CJ Stroud is still playing very well, but he's not like MVP candidate. And people are, oh my god, was it a fluke? And it's like, it's his second season. There's game film on him now.
hmm
But I mean, the Texans are still doing great because they got a lot of talent on that roster, and they don't really need anything more from Stroud except for him to not lose the game for them. And then it turns out that he's also an incredible playmaker. So
hmm Well, they did just
you
lose to the
can't.
Jets. That's pretty bad, you know.
Yes, but it was Thursday night football, and to be fair again, Stroud is definitely the reason that they lost that game. That was probably the worst game that he's ever played. But because it was Thursday night football on the road, you could easily just chalk that up to he just wasn't ready because this is his sophomore season. He's not, 100% on that shit yet.
hmm
And yeah, that's the overall point. Just revisiting that, it's like, guys, it's so many dudes were treating it like it was the end of the world. It's
hmm
not. Oh my God, why didn't we take a quarterback? Why didn't we take Will Levis?
Why didn't we take? It's just the Monday morning quarterback stuff, and I get
Yeah.
it, but sometimes it's warranted. Sometimes it's really not.
Yeah. Barnacles, we're
Here
still
on the wall.
ages away from that. Fuck.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, the Sam Howell stuff drives me insane. Like, why do you want to see that guy get sacked 9 times every game? Because that's all that's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's it's so easy to blame Gino for every single thing that goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He's there's plenty of things that are his fault, but there's plenty of things that aren't. And that's sometimes, I completely empathize with you, Joker. Sometimes it is so difficult to talk sports with people
Mm-hmm.
because they never think about these kinds of things. You can't just complain in a vacuum. You have to think, if it was somebody else, how would things change?
Mm-hmm.
Gino has exceeded expectations ever since he showed up in Seattle. He's playing very, very well compared to how he's played throughout the entire rest of his career. He is very much at the absolute worst, an above average quarterback. Very good, best deal in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And while there are mistakes that he makes that are on him, there's also plenty of things that happen that every quarterback in the league would be struggling with in the same situation. And that offensive line help and that pass protection being non existent is it. So yeah, if you're starting your backup, oh well, let's see what we, like the fucking retards last year, like, oh, let's see what we got with Drew Lock. He's the future. Like,
Drew Lock is now a backup to Daniel Jones. He can't even beat out Daniel Jones.
right. So for all we know, because God, anything could happen. Sam Howell could go on to become the GOAT. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But if he was playing instead of Gino right now, he'd be getting the shit kicked out of him. Like, how the fuck would it be different?
It would be nonstop ass rape.
Exactly. I mean, you know, I'm going to bring up the Dolphins here because I think they're a great example to illustrate my point. Tua last season had the least amount of time after the snap to when he made a pass when it was a passing play
Mm-hmm.
out of any quarterback in the league. And that's because any time that a pass took longer than 1 second after the snap to leave his hands, if he didn't have something immediately, he was almost certainly going to be sacked. Because that's how bad our offensive line is. It was bad last year, and it's bad this year. So why have the Dolphins completely fallen apart? Well, of course, Tua getting hurt, and of course, people leaving on the defense in free agency. But the fact that that offensive line wasn't addressed, the time to pass has gone up. And Tua's been getting his ass kicked. And so has our backups, because Tua hasn't played very much. But in this game that we played today, where we did very, very well and damn near beat Buffalo, in Buffalo, of all things, Tua wasn't sitting in the pocket. He was letting the shit go quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And it either works or it doesn't. But that's how, that's how things work for us. Now, if you've got that bad offensive line and you have the opportunity to let things, or rather to get rid of it quickly, successfully, well, then you're not going to be getting sacked 8 times a week. But when you don't have that going on because you're just constantly passing and you never run the ball ever, it's going to be real tough to let things go quickly, and then your shitty offensive line lets you down and you're getting your ass beat again. That doesn't change if you just bring in some new guy.
Man, the stream last few nights has kept dying and coming back over and over and over. I don't understand this. Is Twitch having problems? Is it my internet? I don't think
You
it's
know
my
what?
internet.
You know what I think it is?
What?
Because I bet I know what it is.
Oh yeah.
Because the stream is effectively restarting. It's not like it's just crashing.
Right.
What I think is it's a stutter in the connection to where it times out, and then because you never actually stop streaming, it just kicks right back on again.
Hmm.
So my theory is that because this is the first game that you've played in a very long time that has actually taxed your computer,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probably just pushing your processor past certain comfort limits,
Mm-hmm.
and the server's not able to receive a consistent information stream flow, so it just drops every
Could be.
now and again.
Believable.
That is my theory. Because the game had been fine for the most part up until the last 2 days, when suddenly there's
Mm-hmm.
been some really tough sections, and when you're going through that, that's when it's falling to shit. So that's my theory.
Could be, yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, see, I didn't know this because I wasn't paying too much attention to the Redskins last season, but I'm looking up Howell, and he did very well
Yeah, and then
relative to what people.
they got another
Right.
quarterback, and look at what he's fucking doing right now.
Exactly. So you can't sit there and say that Howell's amazing, because it turns out that the Redskins were actually just doing really well on their rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
Because see, you know, I don't even know the guy's name properly, but whoever the Skins have now.
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, there you go, Jaden Daniels. I can tell you one thing that he's not doing that Sam Howell did. Sam Howell last season led the NFL in picks and taken sacks.
Mm-hmm.
Threw 21 interceptions last year and was sacked 65 times, which is just about 4 sacks a game. And that sucks. But yeah, they were 4-13 last year with mostly the same roster. Howell was putting up numbers that were impressive relative to what the Skins had been getting for years. Now Jaden Daniels is lighting it up, and they've already exceeded last year's win totals. As a matter of fact, if you combine, hold on, let's see here. They will very soon have more wins. If this continues, of course. If they cool down, whatever. But they only need 5 more wins. The Skins need. And if they get 12 wins, then they tie the combined total of wins that they've had in the previous 2 seasons. If they hit 13, then they'll have more wins this year than they had in the last 2 years combined. So, it's been rough for the Skins for a while, but that results in high draft picks, and they've been drafting well. So, Sam Howell can throw the ball decently, but his decision making's not completely there yet.
Mm-hmm.
So in a situation like Seattle's dealing with, where Geno's getting his ass kicked, Howell would be leading the league in interceptions right now. I don't think Geno is.
He's probably getting up there, but 70% of his interceptions bounce off his receiver's hands. I'm not even kidding, so I don't even really care about that. Especially when he's playing behind one of the worst offensive lines.
Yeah. I am going to check. League leader in picks right now. Oh. Well, that's not fair. Geno is actually tied for most interceptions in the league. Here's the problem. He's played 9 games already. But he's tied for first with Jordan Love, who's only played 7 games.
Jeez, I didn't know Love was like that this year.
Yeah. With 10 interceptions. So Geno's at a pick a game. Jordan Love is at a pick and a half a game.
I'm pretty
Baker Mayfield
I think
is
Anthony
up there.
Richardson has more interceptions than games played as well. I think.
Yes, Richardson has 6 games played and 7 picks total.
Mm-hmm.
So if Richardson never got hurt, and the same with Will Levis. Will Levis actually has the worst ratio of games played to picks thrown. 5 games played, 7 picks. But tied in third place behind the tie for first place is Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes. Which, makes sense because they're gunslingers and, they're both kicking ass. Well, the thing with Mahomes is even though the Chiefs are still the only undefeated team in the league and are doing great this season, Mahomes actually has more interceptions than touchdowns this
Yeah,
year.
Mahomes is not playing that well. He's playing better than his stats, but that is a great KC team to still be undefeated. Even if the
Yes.
refs usually drag them to it, if we're being honest. But,
Yes. Yes. Very much. Aaron Rodgers is having a phenomenal statistical season, but the Jets suck.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Cousins is similarly having a phenomenal statistical season, and I think the Falcons are doing at least decent. Yeah, they're
they're
6
good.
and 3.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Falcons are good.
So yeah, good on Kirk. It's going to be a little while before the fans scream get that on the field.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, Anthony Richardson actually sucks.
Yeah,
He is
he's a
the
big bundle of talent that can't figure out how to play quarterback yet.
There is only one quarterback in the league that has less than 1,000 passing yards, but more than 5 interceptions on the season, other than Anthony Richardson. I feel reasonably sure you can guess who the other one is.
Is it? It's not Bryce Young, is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Bryce Young is the only other quarterback in the league besides Anthony Richardson that has less than 1,000 passing yards, but more than 5 interceptions on the season. Bryce Young had 694 passing yards in 6 games and 6 interceptions. Nobody else in the league has more than 5 picks, but less than 1,000 yards. Funny.
I'm okay with the project if it's Richardson, but I can already tell you that this spoiled, impatient fan base will not be able to handle it. They'll say that they can handle it, but the first time he throws 2 interceptions in a game, they're going to be screaming for the backup again.
Yeah.
So I don't think this team can do a project because this fan base isn't capable of grasping what a project is.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that, because when you look at things and you take the long view, the Seahawks feel like they're in a really good position. And more to the point, you've got to be extremely appreciative of Geno and everything that he's given you guys so far.
Mm-hmm.
But year after year, they're like, I hate Geno, I want him to die, I want him to get AIDS and die. Start Drew Lock instead. Like these people don't even listen to themselves talk.
Mm-hmm.
Because see, it's one thing to want to have a dominant quarterback who's an incredible playmaker like a Patrick Mahomes type. But the 49ers last season should be showing everybody. But for the love of Christ, you can really excel in this league if the only thing you have to do as a quarterback is just not lose the game for your team. No one should ever be sitting there thinking that Brock Purdy's a legitimate MVP candidate ever again. But they were so good last year that all he had to do was not be the reason his team lost. And people actually thought he was an MVP candidate.
Oh, we'll never make that mistake again until another Brock Purdy-like player comes along. And then
Yeah, for real.
that'll be the last time we make that mistake.
Exactly. He just next, but that's literally how some people are in the stands. They're standing there at a game pissed at Geno starting. It's insanity, genuinely. Yeah, like, it's crazy to me, because there's one thing that I keep saying. Sports is supposed to be fun. I completely understand being upset when your team underperforms and being disappointed because you really wanted to see them win. But like the moment that you get to that point in your life where week after week you're like, this is it, man. My sports team is going to keep me from putting that gun in my mouth. And then things haven't even gone catastrophically wrong. It's just like you're not going to win every single game. And then they're like, holy fuck, somebody get me Geno Smith's address so I can mail him an envelope of AIDS. Like, how do you even let yourself get to that point? I don't know. But it's insane because just like Joker said, it's just incredibly spoiled behavior, you know. Think about how deranged Broncos fans are right now from having to cope because they're literally sitting there. And by the way, Bo Nix was very nearly the only other guy, but it's Bryce Young. He was just over 1,000 yards. But that's only because he's fucking
He's actually played in every
played it.
game.
Yeah, bro. But matter of fact, Bo Nix actually has the least amount of total yards of any quarterback who's played at least 9 games. He even has less than Daniel Jones. Any quarterback who's played at least 9 games, everyone has more yards than Bo Nix.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. It's rock bottom.
Yeah, I don't think they're saying that so much after today, though. Broncos fans, I mean.
Yes, and yeah, I do completely agree with you. But that's the point, is that it's been so bad for them for so long that this is the level of cope that they've been reduced to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Browns fans who thought that Jameis was going to be the savior when he came out of nowhere with an amazing game last week, and then this week you get the other half of Jameis Winston.
Mm-hmm.
He just threw a shitload of dumbass interceptions today. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. I really feel like Broncos fans in the future are going to be mauling super hard. Because it's not just that they passed on Brock Bowers, but he was the very next pick so that they could take Bo Nix.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't even sit there and be like, well, you know, it's just what happens sometimes. Some players miss, some players hit. The way, the nature of the game. Brock Bowers was the best player available, and Bo Nix was like in. If it was 10 years ago when GMs were even slightly more sane than they are right now, he was a 4th-round pick.
Maybe like Riley Leonard, JS. Riley Leonard, Cade Klubnik. Okay, guys, I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I am back.
You know, it's surprising Gino does not lead the league in being sacked.
He's got to be close, especially after today.
Yeah, he's fourth.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guess the three ahead of him?
Um, let me think here.
What?
Hold on, hold
Oh,
on, hold on,
yeah.
hold on, hold
Go
on.
ahead.
Is Caleb in the top three?
Yes, Caleb is directly ahead of Gino in third place.
Okay. It's not Stafford, is it?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. Stafford's not in the top 15.
Oh, okay.
God damn.
Um, I want to say Jalen Hurts, maybe.
Oh, he's up there, tied for 8th.
Okay. I normally say Bryce Young, but he didn't play every game, so there's no way it's him. Hmm. Daniel Jones, is he on that list?
He's very close. He is exactly 1 sack behind Gino in 5th place.
Okay. Sam Darnold?
Darnold is also very close. He's in 6th.
And I'm not sure who the others could be.
Well, I'll give you a hint. One of these guys is actually incredibly obvious when you think about it, but one of them's truly surprising.
Incredibly obvious when you think about it. It's not Derek Carr, is it?
No, but I'll give you another hint. He's actually the guy who's in 1st place, and by a wide margin.
Oh, hold on, let me. Yeah, I don't think it's Dak. I don't think it's Dak. Lamar gets sacked a lot. I don't know if he's up that high though. Wait, is it Kirk Cousins up there?
Kirk's tied with Stafford at 17th.
Uh,
You mentioned Dak. Dak is pretty high, but he's tied for 8th with Hurts.
how about okay, my last shot at this is going to be shoot. I had it on the tip of my tongue and I just lost it. Deshaun Watson, that's not a bad guess, but he's been
There you
hurt.
go.
Wow,
Yep,
and he hasn't even played in every game.
that's right. 7 games, 33 sacks.
Wow.
Gino's at 28, and that's after today. So remember, Deshaun Watson didn't play this week. Gino did, and Gino got sacked 7 times tonight,
Hmm.
which means that Deshaun Watson had been sacked a full fucking 12 times more than Gino going into this week. When I look at Deshaun Watson's stat line, I don't know why Browns fans aren't killing themselves en masse. Like, holy shit.
Oh, believe me, they basically are. They know.
Right, I know that they're very aware that this guy sucks ass, but holy shit, this guy sucks ass. My God.
Remember how good he was? Like, it is wild that a dude breaks down that quickly.
Yeah, so. Nice claps for Big Country. But now the one that's in 2nd place,
Hmm.
like I said, this one would be the surprise.
I want to say the New England quarterback, but they switched their quarterback. Is it Aaron Rodgers?
No.
Hmm.
Do you want to give me a hint or just say
Yeah,
it?
go ahead, say it.
DJ Stroud
Wow. Okay, I would not
at
have gotten that.
30 sacks on the season.
Wild.
Like I said, it's very surprising because the Texans are a very good team, and while Stroud, we were saying it earlier, he is struggling a little bit compared to his rookie year. He's still playing very well. Stroud is still definitely one of the top quarterbacks in the league. He's got over 2,000 yards so far. That's definitely putting him a cut above because not many other QBs have that. He's got double-digit touchdowns, and that puts him up ahead into a lot of other things because a lot of other QBs barely have that. And he's playing very well. He's playing very efficient all across the board, and his team's doing very well. There's not a whole lot to complain about for him, but he's been getting sacked left and right. I think it's probably just his play style would be if he doesn't see something's there, he tries to run for it, but he's still behind the line and then just gets. And yeah, with what JS said, that'd make even more sense because if he's trying so hard to make something happen, well, that's the downside. Is sometimes it doesn't work out. But yeah, that was a shock to me. See him in second place, but he's still 3 sacks behind Deshaun Watson. He's played 2 more games than Deshaun Watson. So yeah, like I said, Deshaun Watson's one of those things where you think, man, that really was obvious because you're like, who sucks? Who's been getting creamed all year? Jesus. We're really close on a lot of these. You basically had the entire top 10 except for the top 2. Carr earlier, he's actually been doing a very good job. I mean, I know that they're not playing him anymore right now, but while he was playing, he was doing an excellent job of not getting sacked. He's only been sacked 6 times this season. And he did play 6 games, so that averages out to a sack a game. That's pretty good.
Oh shit. I don't know if I have the ammo for this.
But yeah, Josh Allen is playing an exceptional fucking season so far. In terms of efficiency, especially compared to, because last season a lot of people were grilling him that he throws a lot of picks. He has 17 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions this entire season so far. 9 games, 7-2 record. He's only been sacked 11 times. Goes even more to show just how incredible it was what the Dolphins managed to do today. They managed to pick up a rare sack on Josh Allen, and they're one of only 2 interceptions that he's thrown all year. Meanwhile, Tua played almost a perfect game. 28 attempts, he only missed 3 times. No interceptions, only got sacked once. This would have been a great game to win, but keeping our draft pick low helps a lot too, I think.
Tua understands the mission. Tua understands the assignment.
Yeah. JS is definitely correct there. He says the offensive coordinator is Josh Allen playing like Alex Smith, and Bills fans think that's a negative. And it's not. And JS is absolutely right. The Bills genuinely, they're on track to make the AFC Championship game. Well, they'll probably lose to the Chiefs again. But this is the best that they've looked in Josh Allen's entire career. So, big kudos to him and to the Bills. Hopefully, total Bills death occurs next season. Definitely not happening this year. But yeah, Josh Allen's probably got a really realistic chance at winning MVP this year. Because we're halfway through the season now. We're at the point now where we can start talking about it. And for all the teams and all the players that have records that are this good at this point in the year, Josh Allen is by far playing the best. I don't know if the Bills have had a 7-2 start in the last couple of years. Let me check. Last year was 4-3, then they fell off a cliff, and then they somehow came back. Season before that was 6-3, and they went into the playoffs 13-3 before getting humiliated. But 13 wins is definitely easily achievable for them this year.
Yeah.
They'll probably exceed that. And yeah, they were not 7-2 in 2021, but
John McDermott's really good at coaching defense.
yeah, this might just be the Bills' year. Because even though they've lost a lot of guys, the way that Josh Allen's playing right now, it looks like the stars may be aligning. Because, I mean, if you take one of the guys who had one of the highest amount of interceptions in the league, and you've taken away weapons that he has, and yet this guy is now more efficient than he's ever been in his career so far.
Mm-hmm.
An 8-to-1 touchdown interception ratio is incredible.
And he's still making all the big plays that he used to make without turning it over. It's pretty insane.
Right, exactly. So it's like the one weakness that the guy had, he just said, you know what, that's just not going to be there anymore. So, you know, we do have to acknowledge it. This incredible turnaround for the Bills really has started ever since that weird 9/11 speech that their coach made.
Mm-hmm.
Because the wheels were falling off last year, then he said that shit, and they went from having a 13% chance to make the playoffs to winning the division after he said that. And then Josh Allen completely turned it around and decided he was just done throwing interceptions for the rest of his life. Man. From now on, every day, every morning I wake up, I'm going to motivate myself by thinking about 9/11. I'm gonna take life by the horns, man.
Man, the
Jesus.
memes if Sean McDermott wins the Super Bowl.
God, what stadium is being played in? I'm sitting here like, could you imagine if the Super Bowl was like they win it this year and the Super Bowl's actually in New York? He motivates his team right before the game. He says, "Look out at that skyline, men. You know what's not there? You know what you don't see?" Jesus Christ. Okay, this year it's in the Superdome. Next year,
Maybe he could
it's in
motivate the
Santa.
players by talking about Katrina.
That'd be awesome, actually. If they make it next year instead, it's in Santa Clara.
Oh, that stupid fucking stadium. Dude, I don't even want to make the Super Bowl if it's in Santa Clara.
Bro, it gets even worse. The year after that, it's in fucking SoFi. It's gonna be dog shit, man.
At least that stadium's nice.
Then, wow. In 2028, it's actually going to be in Atlanta. This is the first Super Bowl in the Superdome since 2013. And next year is going to be the second Super Bowl that Santa Clara's had the chance to host.
I mean, on a technical level, JS, I know the stadium is bougie bullshit, but it's a nice stadium at least. It's a modern stadium. It doesn't have that garbage field like SoFi. Or like Santa Clara, excuse me.
Sorry. It's all the same slop. Everybody knows it. Can I get the padlock with the bolt cutters? No. I didn't think so. He's going to win a third MVP before winning a third playoff game. Lamar's career is the strangest thing, man. Um, I don't say this to mean like health wise, because health wise it's not the case. But in terms of regular season to playoff performance ratio, he might be the NFL's Embiid.
Maybe.
You know, you can't even say that his teams let him down every single time in the playoffs. When he loses, man. Like last year, 100% that was all on him.
Are there any QBs you like this draft and any you're willing to draft to try to develop? The only quarterback I really like is Cam Ward. I kind of like,
You.
yeah. I kind of like Riley Leonard or Cade Klubnik to develop if I have to pick somebody, but it's not great, man.
man. 9-0, the number 4th ranked Miami Hurricanes.
Oh, they're in the
Let's
playoff.
go.
They're in the top 4. Playoff, baby.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
actually, no, the playoffs expanded, so even if they lose a game, they'll still be in the playoff.
Yeah, they fucking vaporized Duke today.
Yesterday.
Yeah. Sorry, timings mess with my head, but yeah, they kicked the shit out of Duke. 53-30. You love to see it. Let's see here. The next game is against unranked Georgia Tech. Should probably roll right over
Oh,
them.
that's
Actually,
that's
the whole...
that's Moogle's team.
You know, the whole rest of the season, actually, is pretty much a victory lap. You got Georgia Tech, then Wake Forest, and then Syracuse.
The thing is, Miami's defense is not good, so they always have to be like, they have to bring it offensively
Yeah,
so hard every week because any offense can at least produce a little against them.
which is true, but the good news is we're definitely blowing the doors off of people this year.
Um,
Yeah, let's see.
I
The
think,
highest ranked team we played this.
yeah, I think that drafting Cam Ward in the top 10 would be okay. I wouldn't necessarily be in love with it, but I think I'd be good with it. I think I'd be like, okay, let's go. I like him. I don't necessarily think he should be a top 10 player in a draft, but he probably is in this draft because it's not a great one.
Yes, there is, however, only one problem with that. The Dolphins are going to buy out Tua's contract and then draft Cam Ward. Sorry.
No, no, they're gonna draft Noah Kaniga
There we go. Let's go.
or whatever his name was.
The case. So you did a good job, because you're not allowed to say.
God damn it! Fucking. I still have this funny feeling that like fucking Georgia's gonna get hot at the end and win it, and then everybody gets to be annoyed by that. I don't know. It's just something that I feel
Yeah.
like is gonna happen.
Well, at the end of the day, I truly don't care about college football, which is really helping me to be happy about what is happening with the Hurricanes this season. Because if they suddenly fall off a cliff, I'm not going to care. And if they win, then I get to throw up the U and claim that I was always a fan, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Based, some would say.
So I'm gonna ask a question that might sound like a joke, but I'm actually being serious. I legitimately don't know. So,
Yeah, go for it.
Goldberg, the wrestler,
Yes.
with a name like that, is he actually, you know?
Yes, he is Jewish. And as a
Okay.
matter of fact, he's probably the most successful Jewish athlete of all time.
Really?
Yeah. Relative to how much money you make in your career.
Hmm.
Because he's a very controversial figure in professional wrestling for a lot of different reasons. So I'm not going to sit here and say that his matches are the best or that he's the most entertaining or any kind of shit like that. It's not what I'm qualifying here. What I'm saying is that with how much money he made in professional wrestling, I don't think that there's ever been a Jewish athlete that has been more successful.
Hmm.
Because he's a professional wrestler, I can't sit there and say that accolades are what make him competitive.
I gotta believe it would be really hard to have the last name Goldberg and not be Jewish.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes, he is Jewish. The son of classical violinist Ethel, which is your first big hint that that's his mother's name. And OBGYN Jed Goldberg. He is of Russian Jewish and Romanian Jewish descent, with his Romanian-born great-grandfather having relocated to the United States from Bucharest through Ellis Island. His father was a graduate of Harvard and Johns Hopkins University. His parents later divorced and his father died in 2006. His mother breeds flowers and created an award-winning hybrid orchid in 2000, which she named after her son Bill. Goldberg had his bar mitzvah at a Reform synagogue, Temple Israel, in his hometown of Atlanta, Georgia. Oh no, sorry. Um, he's just lived there for a very long time. His hometown actually is Tulsa, Oklahoma. So that would be Temple Israel in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah, he's lived in Georgia ever since he went to University of Georgia. I'm looking at the Wikipedia article of famous Jewish athletes,
Mm-hmm.
and let me tell you, no one even comes close to making the amount of money that Goldberg did as
Really?
a professional wrestler.
Really?
Not even close. Because I mean, when you talk about Jewish athletes, you know, you got to be naming guys like Julian Edelman's pretty decent, but let me tell you, Goldberg made more money than him. Um, Josh Rosen, rounding out people that you've actually heard of who played professional football. A lot of soccer players, but none of them are relevant. Some baseball players, none of them are relevant. The most relevant basketball player would be Sue Bird, but since she is a WNBA player, there is no reality where she made more money than
Isn't
Goldberg.
Amari Stoudemire Jewish?
Um, there's there's a lot of disagreement and conflict over that whole thing. For instance, he's not even listed on this article. Oh, that's crazy. Apparently, Sabonis from the Kings is Jewish.
Oh, he'll probably make a lot of money.
I had no idea. Wait a minute. I'm reading his Wikipedia article right now, and I don't see anything in there about him being Jewish.
Hmm.
Oh, there we go. Oh, well, now that doesn't count. That is complete bullshit. He shouldn't be on this article at all. Sabonis is not Jewish.
Okay.
His wife is Jewish. He converted for her.
Oh.
That doesn't count. While we're at it, let me see if Sue Bird is actually ethnically Jewish or if this is just more trickery. She actually is Jewish. Her name was originally Borda, Boorda. They're Ukrainian Jews.
Hmm.
But she's a dual citizen of the United States and Israel. But anyway, yeah, it's definitely Goldberg. He's the most successful, financially, Jewish athlete of all time.
I wonder who the greatest Native American athlete of all time is. It's probably. I mean, there was that guy who was in who kind of launched himself onto the big circuit in the very late 1800s, but he died a drunk and never really got to accomplish the things that he was supposed to. Jim Thorpe, yes. Jim Thorpe was the greatest Native American athlete ever, but he was an alcoholic.
Yeah. I'm reading about Amari right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's the thing. Amari he's not ethnically Jewish. But the reason that all this happens is because his birth father and his mother got divorced when he was very young, and she remarried, and who she remarried was Israeli. So he kind of just had that thing going on for a long time, I guess. Stoudemire was raised Baptist.
No, my game just crashed. God damn it. Although that's not a bad indication that I should be probably ending
Yeah,
the session and just saying we're going to
wrapping it
beat
up
the
soon.
game. We're going to beat the game tomorrow. But
Yeah.
I will go back in and try to figure out what I lost, if anything. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, he said he was raised Baptist. Asked if there was a chance he was Jewish. He said, I think through history, I think we all are. Visited Israel in 2010 before going to the Knicks. He wanted to get a better understanding of the heritage. He returned to Israel for the 2013 Maccabiah Games, where the Israeli president Shimon Peres urged him to join the Israeli national basketball team. In April of 2018, he reportedly began converting to Judaism. January 2019, he was granted residency in Israel. March 2019, he received Israeli citizenship and adopted the name Yehoshaphat ben Avraham Studemeyer. How about that?
Okay, I'm gonna.
So yeah, the Jewishness of Amari is just a LARP because of his stepdad, I guess.
All right, well. So yeah, Goldberg's definitely the winner there. Although apparently the first basket in the history of the NBA was scored by a Jewish player. That is worth noting, I think.
That makes sense because a great deal of the first basketball players were Jewish, but that was just because it was a way for them to draft dodge World War II. Oh, well, this right here is he's definitely probably the most successful Jewish athlete in terms of accolades. This is a true surprise. But I suppose it makes sense that I hadn't been thinking of him on account of the fact that it was such a long fucking time ago that he was actually relevant. Sandy Koufax.
Mm. That is a pretty good one.
So yeah, most successful in terms of just competing, definitely. Yeah, definitely Sandy Koufax. Most money, Goldberg, no question.
Well, the stream is starting to have some serious issues here. My stream elements overlay is gone. Huh.
Oh,
Sorry
man,
about
sorry
that,
to hear that.
guys. I am going to be wrapping up the stream shortly, though, so. Alright, let's see here. Hmm.
No!
Here, we gotta go through the reading room, actually. What? Oh. Okay. I mean, who's he talking to at this point? Is he getting in fights with people or something, or what? Uh, okay, interesting. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for tonight. I'll see you guys
Well,
in the morning.